Welcome to NCC Sports. I'm Ben Castaneda. At the beginning of the season, many people believed that Tyler Lydon would be in a Syracuse uniform for 2 more seasons. However, Tyler Lydon announced on Twitter earlier today that he would be entering the NBA draft this June. Lydon ends his time at SU averaging 11.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and about 40% from behind the three-point line. Lydon said in a post on Twitter, "It was a privilege to wear the orange uniform alongside my teammates. I was honored to battle with you every night. Thanks to all my friends, family, and most importantly, all the Cuse fans for your support." Lydon is currently projected to be a late first-round pick. Now, some other players that will be joining Lydon in the NBA draft are still playing their last games in college. 2 powerhouses in college basketball, North Carolina and Kentucky, met in Memphis, Tennessee for a spot in the Final Four. And if their meeting earlier this season showed us anything, then we were going to be in for a treat. Roy Williams looking to keep the last ACC team alive in the tournament, but it wouldn't be easy against John Calipari and freshman standout De'Aaron Fox. Fox with the drive and layup, and he gives Kentucky a 3-point lead. But North Carolina on an 8-0 run does not give up, and neither does Joel Berry as he puts the floater off the glass, and UNC is up by 8 with under 2 to go. But Kentucky does not want to be denied a trip to the desert, and another amazing freshman, Malik Monk, feels the same way as he drains his contested 3, and we are tied with 7 seconds. Now, unlike last year, UNC will have the last shot, and Luke May makes it count. UNC survives. The Tar Heels advance to the Final Four, where they take on the Oregon Ducks. The magical run of South Carolina took them to Madison Square Garden. In the final 2 minutes of the game, Florida turns it over. Sindarius Thornwell drives it down the court and finds Mike Kotsar for the foul line jumper. We go under a minute now. Florida down by 5. Kevon Allen will get the basket and the and one. Of course, Coach Frank Martin is clearly loving that call. But Florida will not be able to come back, as this turnover here will essentially seal the deal for South Carolina. They win 77-70, and they advance to their first ever Final Four. They take on Gonzaga, a 1 seed from the West, in Phoenix next weekend. Well, if you've enjoyed the excitement of the tournament, then you should check out some of the games for the SU men's lacrosse team. Going into this game, 5 of their games have been decided by 1 goal, and they've only played 6 games so far. The Orange welcomed the 11th ranked Blue Devils to the Dome, hoping for some revenge after an overtime loss last year. Brendan Bomberry breaks the tie and Cuse is up 7-6 in the 3rd. But Duke would take the lead here off of this goal from Jack Bruckner. Duke would then go up by 2 as we head into the 4th quarter. Now under 7, and Danny Varela wins the faceoff here, and he'll race down to the net. He finds Bomberry, and he finds the back of the net once again. Orange now down by 1. We're into the final 2 minutes. SU still down to score. Nick Mariano is going to find the goal after moving around the defender, and we're tied up now. Duke will then have let for the final possession, but this game goes into overtime, and in overtime, Sergio Alcido is going to drive down. He's going to pass it to Jamie Trimboli, and he's going to win it for the Orange. And SU wins the game 12-11, and your game winner, Trimboli, described the play after the game.
Sergio's dodging on the left side, and he rolls back, and I guess the pass was for Nick over here, but I thought it was for me. I caught it and rolled, and the guy fell over my shoulder, and I just saw open space and kind of just shot the ball as hard as I could.
SU travels to South Bend to take on the #1 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish next Saturday. Well, the 2017 season will not be an easy one for Dino Babers and the Orange. 11 of the 12 teams they face played in a bowl game this past season, and many analysts have ranked SU's schedule as one of the toughest in the country. Thankfully, spring football has begun, and it's never too early to start training. Despite a 4-8 season, the team did show some promise on offense. Senior wide receiver core Irvin Phillips and Steve Ishmael returned, but they have to step up as Brisley Esteem and Amba Editau are gone due to graduation. Babers promised a high-octane offense, and the team did increase the number of possessions it had per game. But defensively was not the same, as the Orange had 6 games where they gave up 40 or more points. The big question is, can Eric Dungy stay healthy this season, as his 2 years at SU so far have ended with injuries. Despite his injury, he set single-season records for passing yards per game and average yards of offense per game. Here's Dungy and Babers talking about being able to come back from another injury.
It was frustrating. Obviously, I want to be out there. That's what I want to do. It's frustrating watching from the sideline, but it's a new season, spring ball. I'm just so happy to be out here. It's awesome. Waking up early, getting out here, being able to throw the ball around and play football.
Well, he's just a leader. He's a lot more confident. Obviously his head is fine, and he's out there and he's leading our football team. And we're always better when Eric Dungy's on the field.
SU will open the season on September 1st when they host Central Connecticut State.
So, Ben, what are your thoughts about Tyler Lydon? Do you think he's ready for the NBA draft?
Well, skill-wise, I don't think he's 100% there, but I think it makes sense for him, right? Beginning of the season, many people had him on the draft board as a first-round pick, and he's still there. He's still on the draft board as a first-round pick. So if I'm Tyler Lydon, I'm looking at it as, do I play for free one more year, or do I leave and get the money? I think right now the money is weighing much more heavier than just playing for pride and playing for free for the NCAA.
Right. Thanks, Ben. That's all we have for the Weekend Update on Sports. Next, we'll take a look at the weather.